sitting March 2025. I have not uploaded in a year, and those channels have made 6 figures.
What?
There's honestly no way to lose when you're doing search-based approach on YouTube. So I've been doing this for over 10 years. Basically, my head is like one big collection of data. RPM was 178 for this one. Same topic, 184, which doesn't make any sense. Last year, December, I had $15,000 in expenses and $45,000 in revenue. But that video started doing 40,000 views per hour from YouTube search and Google search.
That's incredible. That's insane.
Honestly, when I started, it was just like, let me just try and make this video and see what happens.
So today I talked to Youri Van Hofwegen, and he is known as the god of YouTube search. This podcast was insane for me because I've watched this guy's videos to learn how to rank on YouTube search, and I now make over $1,000 per month passively from his YouTube videos and his advice. But he's way ahead of me. He has used his ability to rank #1 on YouTube search to make over $50,000 per month passively and has made millions off it over his entire career. In this episode, he tells us why YouTube search is so powerful yet so underrated, how he actually turns the views that he gets into passive income, and even goes through his YouTube Studio dashboard showing all the actual data. So without further ado, please enjoy the show. Boom. Okay, so Youri, you've made $2 million from YouTube search. What do you wish people understood about ranking high on YouTube search?
That could be one of the most valuable things that they could do and one of the best skills to learn. I think there's a lot of people that don't see the value of it. They'll even say that search is outdated and that it doesn't really work and that it's like the easy way of doing things, which is just outdated or doesn't work anymore. And in my opinion, they couldn't be further from the truth.
So what are the benefits of search that has led you to make 2 million with it?
So there's a couple of benefits. I think the main one, like I just said, most people underestimate it. And so there's a lot less people that are focusing on it, allowing it to be a much easier way to start getting views on YouTube, especially as a beginner. And you reverse the roles. So whereas normally if you're uploading on YouTube, what a lot of people teach and what a lot of people try to do, they try to create like viral content and get people to click from the homepage. But you're honestly not sure if they are even going to click, if they're ever going to see it, if they like what you made. You're pretty much guessing. And with search, you can reverse engineer it. So you can figure out what people are already searching for so that you know you've confirmed there's interest. And then all you need to do is make a video that actually fits the needs of the viewer, which you already know and you can do research beforehand for. And then you make the video. If you then apply the correct SEO, you can rank for it. And then it's very easy to get views and get them to be satisfied because before making the video, you know that that's their problem. And so it's easy to fix their problem. And then I guess we can get into like how you can do that in a proper way later in the episode. But if you do that in a proper way, you can make money through AdSense, so just the ads playing on the videos, but even more so through selling products that actually solve the problem that the viewer has, which is just a lot easier to do with search than, in my opinion, it is with getting views from the YouTube homepage or suggested and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think the one piece that I don't know if you left out somehow, the fact that you get views like over time in a linear way, that never happens with other types of videos.
100%. I mean, I have videos, I have channels where I've not uploaded in literally a year right now, sitting March 2025. I have not uploaded in a year, and those channels have made 6 figures, which is just truly insane. I don't think with browse or getting your views from the homepage of YouTube, that is really a thing. I think that would have already leveled down quite a lot to a point where you're definitely not making 6 figures. Maybe if you were making like 8 figures beforehand, maybe it went down to 6. But if you're at 6, 7 a year and you don't upload for a year, it's not going to stay at 6 figures, I believe.
Exactly. And so like the best example of this, I think, on YouTube is how to tie a tie. I've had to look up this video, and that video, I checked the analytics on it from vidIQ, and it's just getting millions of views a year, every year, because it's just a bunch of dudes that still don't know how to tie their tie. They're still going to need to know the answer. One thing you hit on that I do want to talk about more is So I go to Cornell, and I took a couple classes on entrepreneurship here. And one of the biggest things they talk about is like, finding a problem and then solving it. So they always tell you to look for like a market demand that already exists and then solving that with whatever product or service you create. And I feel like that is probably like the safest way to go about making money, because you can do a lot of research and verify that that problem is there. And I think that's exactly when I came upon search-based like ways to make money. I realized like, yeah, that's exactly within that framework. Because when I went viral with my video on like how to make money with faceless stuff, that was not like, I didn't know there was a market demand that existed for that there. That was low-key, kind of a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of luck. But I think finding a problem and then solving it by verifying that there's a market demand or that there's actually search volume is way safer in terms of making money.
Yeah, it's pretty much business 101, right? You're solving a problem. But what I like with the search method is that you can literally type in the search phrase that people search for themselves. And so you can then see your competition, because all your competition is just showing up in an instant, right? Everyone that is ranking high is your competition. You can then analyze that competition. You can literally just sit down, spend like 1, 2, 3 hours watching all of your competition, their videos. You can write down everything that they do well, everything that they forgot to mention. You can analyze the comments, taking a look at feedback. You can implement all of that then in your own video, pretty much make a better end product than is currently available on the market. You then simply position yourself in front of that audience by using the search phrase as your title. And there you go. I mean, there's a market, you've made a better product. And so there's not really a way to lose. Like there's no big risk or whatever. And maybe if you do that once, you might not actually end up ranking number one or making the best product, aka best video. But if you do that over time and you start stacking these up, there's honestly no way to lose when you're doing the search based approach on YouTube, in my opinion.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And can I tell you, I only found out about the search-based stuff through your videos, actually. So can I
Hmm.
walk you through like my experience with this? The
Yeah,
first
sure. I'm curious.
encounter I ever had with realizing the power of search was from this website called orderofbooks.com. Have you heard of this?
Never.
Okay, so what they do, so they're not doing it through YouTube search, they're like a website, but basically what they do is they have a website showing every single book series, and they just have a website that's optimized to answer what is the next book after this one. So if you're reading Harry Potter and you just read the first Harry Potter book, a ton of people are going to be looking up what is the book that comes after, the first Harry Potter book. And then it answers that question. Same with the second, third, fourth, etc. They were getting tons of search traffic every month. And then they would just have Amazon affiliate links to the books. And they were making
Yeah.
300K a month from that.
Damn.
Fully
That's
passive. They
smart.
just did it for every book series that existed. So I saw a starter story video about this, and I was like, oh my God, that's insane. Like, what? So I was like, okay, how could I do this? But I never really thought much of it. Like, I never returned to it. Then, I'm going to share my screens here.
Yeah, sure.
I made a video about Snapchat. So I was like, just on my channel, I was making a bunch of different videos, and I heard about Snapchat spotlights, which I tried and then made money from. Okay.
Hmm.
And I posted this video. I didn't think much of it. It outperformed my other videos by a little bit. And it wasn't until after like probably around here, like 100 days or so after, that I was like, wait, this video is still getting views. Like, what is going on? And that's when I was like, okay, wait, this is getting so much views from search. What? And that's when I
Yeah.
was like, okay, wait, if I can make this much money from search, I need to figure out how I can do this on purpose, because I made this video accidentally. And this
Yeah.
used the strategy that you talk about with the affiliate products. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I had a software, and I think you've heard of this one, repurpose.io.
Yes.
And it reposts your videos to any other social media platform automatically. So anyone looking to make money with Snapchat, they want to solve the problem of posting on there, but they don't want to actually do it manually. Everyone went through and downloaded this thing. I was starting to make commission, and I was like, dude, wait, what is going on? I realized it all came from this video, and that's how I came onto your YouTube channel and was like, oh my God, like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a fantastic result. I always call those integration videos or integration keywords where the problem that their viewer has, like they are probably not even aware of it yet. So an integration keyword, what I like to call is more so, let's say someone has a problem. For example, they are currently not making money with Snapchat, right? That's a problem. They'll search for how to make money with Snapchat, but then they don't know yet what the exact solution would be. And they might have thought that the solution would be to turn on a button on Snapchat or whatever, but you then showed them that their solution is clipping content for which they need XYZ product, right? So they're like unaware of their solution. They don't even know repurpose IO exists. They just have a certain problem. Repurpose IO solves that problem, and then you just integrate it in the video and you'll drive clicks and then get sales, right? Which is quite a good way to convert if the
It,
search intent is right. So if they search for something and the product actually solves it, it's a great way to make money.
exactly. Yeah, and we'll get into more examples like that later, but I'm curious because from my point of view, I've always noticed that if you just look at what the product does, right? So repurpose does like it auto reposts your videos to other social media platforms. That's a search query that not many people are looking up. So I found
Hmm.
it's really interesting because you take the product and what or the service or whatever it does that you're trying to affiliate market, but you can't actually make a video about that value proposition. You normally have to find a different problem that people are looking at. That's usually a little bit of a bigger problem, and then how that software would solve that problem. Do you notice that
Hmm.
it's better to do that than it is to just talk about the
Yeah,
product directly?
100%. That is a great skill that I'm currently like improving at as well. Like analyzing in which way you can promote a certain product where it actually still provides value to the viewer, but you can market it to a broader audience. I think there's both ways you can do it, but not every way works for every product. So repurpose IO, the search phrase itself, or just the brand awareness for repurpose IO might be 50,000 people. I'm just making this up. So potentially you could sell it to 50,000 people, but then realistically, how many of those can you actually reach? Well, not that many. How many are going to convert? Well, let's say like 2%. The commission is this amount, so you roughly make XYZ. In those cases, probably it's not the smartest way to promote it. Yours or just integration based videos are probably going to be better. But if you're looking at something like Shopify, for example, which pays you $150 per sale and is very, very popular, and on just Shopify itself, there's a lot of traffic, that could make you a lot of money. So I think both ways can work. It just really depends on how much brand awareness and how much search traffic there is for the direct approach, which is basically just the name of the product, right? Or whether you have to do integration based, like you did, how to make money on Snapchat. Oh, you have to clip things up. In order to clip things up, you have to get a software for this. I use Repurpose IO, right? That is a great way to get additional traffic, which I think usually will convert a bit less, but you can get a lot more people to find out about the product. So I think there's two ways.
Yeah,
Probably there's a few more, but there's two core ways. Which one converts higher is probably the direct approach, but then you cannot always rank because maybe it's too competitive, like Shopify tutorials, for example. And then with the integration ones, they're probably less competitive or they're easier to get views with, and you can reach a broader audience. But then the conversion rate specifically will be a bit lower. But yeah, both can work in my opinion
okay.
and from my
That
experience.
makes sense. So if there's more brand awareness, then you could do direct videos talking about the product itself because people already know what it is and like what it does and they're reviewing
Yes.
like should I use this or something like that
Yes.
versus
Hmm.
if it's like a brand that isn't well known like repurpose, it's probably better to pick
Hmm.
a larger problem or a problem that this would end up solving and then mention
Yeah.
it in the video solving that problem.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
great example of that I did recently is end of last year. I uploaded a video about Pixels AI, which is a thumbnail generator for YouTube. But Pixels AI wasn't really known. It wasn't like a brand name that got tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of search on YouTube. So instead of naming my video Pixels AI tutorial, I approached it with the thumbnail generator title. Plus, I integrated a few more known brands like Canva and Photoshop, My title is Forget Canva and Photoshop. So I pretty much target everyone that is
Mm,
currently using that, which is millions of people. And then this
yeah.
AI thumbnail generator does it all. I believe that's my title currently. And that way I was able to get like, I think now like 300,000 views. If I had titled it Pixels AI Review, it might have gotten like 5K, 10K views, maybe max. So I pretty much 30x the potential reach just by positioning it in a different way.
That is so smart. So you were able to tap into everyone on Canva and Photoshop by mentioning to not use that in the thumbnail.
Yeah,
That
I
is
say
very smart.
forget Canva and Photoshop. So every active user currently using it for that purpose, or even not even for that purpose of making thumbnails, they're like, hey, what is this? Why is this guy telling me to forget about this? I'm literally paying money every month. I should probably check out what he's saying.
Yeah. Okay, so how did you figure all this out about search in the first place?
Boy, that's quite a story. So in the beginning of 2019, I started making YouTube videos again. I'd done YouTube like a couple of times just for fun, making football videos, actually filming myself. And then in the beginning of 2019, that was a time where people started being transparent, coming back to your whole topic there, being transparent about how much money they were making with AdSense, which now is like the most normal thing ever, right? People sharing their analytics and this and that. Back then it was this huge mystery, like, oh, YouTube money, like what is that? And does it even exist? Is it real? Pretty much no one knew because no one shared it. Everyone was acting like it was against the terms of service, which I'm not sure if it is, but that period, people finally started sharing. So I saw Graham Stephan and Reyes the entrepreneur, I believe he's called, share their earnings from videos, and that's when I saw, hey, they're getting paid $10 for every 1,000 views, and I was just 18, living at home. So I was like, hey, if I start making videos and I upload every day, so that's 365 in the next year, and just one goes viral and gets a million views, I would make like $10,000, and honestly, that'd be fine. Like that's how I was thinking, and so that's why I started again. Because at that time, I also had Instagram theme pages, so I was already making money online, like maybe a couple $1,000s per month at most, like one, two. So
Mhm.
I was gonna talk about that on my YouTube channel, so that I got that high RPM, talking about making money online, right? Which I was actively doing at that moment. So that was kind of like my angle to start YouTube. And I did that the first year. So I started uploading, like I said, pretty much daily. That was my thought process. If I upload daily, surely one will go viral and then I can make that amount of money. And the 6 months I started, the first 6 months, nothing. Like barely any views, barely any subscribers. I made $0 in the first 6 months. But then slowly and surely things started to pick up. I got monetized in September 2019, started making like $100 a day just from AdSense revenue. And I kind of just kept doing that. But then I pretty much hit a plateau. So I was at $100 a day, would kind of go down and go up again if I upload. But it was kind of just stuck, and those videos were getting very repetitive. And throughout that year, I met a friend called Bradley who had been doing the search based strategy for years. I think when he was like 14 or something in 2014, he started with that, and then he explained that model to me and he showed his channel. And it was like an epiphany because I never, well, not epiphany, I don't know the word for it, but I had never even considered the fact that that was a way to do YouTube, right? It would be like you upload videos, that goes to your subscribers. You have to try and get these subscribers to watch your next videos. That's all I'd ever seen. And then he showed me that you could just upload videos that rank in search. They'll then continue to rank in search for months, if not years. And your next video can just be whatever because you'll just do that over and over again. And then in the back end, you'll start building up an amazing amount of views that just come in every single day because it's through search. And that's when I'm like, damn, that is smart. Let me try that. And so at the end of 2019, that's when I pretty much got started with YouTube search. And that is all to say that in that year, that first channel that I was already building, pretty much all of my views came from search anyway. It was just not, it was just like you said earlier, just didn't really know. You were just making videos and it happened to like to be search traffic. That's what I had as well. So I naturally just started doubling down on the video topics that worked well for me, and that's how I just continued to get more and more views from search. But that is kind of how I got started with it. So a friend introduced me to it And so then in the end of 2019, I actually started recording videos myself, which is when I had my first big success, sort of. I uploaded a video about a trend. It was like a Disney filter, which was extremely popular back then. I upload that and it starts going viral, like crazy viral. I was getting in news articles. I was basically everywhere, which is extremely stupid if you look at the video topic. But that video started doing 40,000 views per hour from YouTube search and Google search. And I was just like, what on earth is happening here? Like, I've been putting in all this work the year up front, not like crazy results. And then I make this stupid video about how to get a filter. And I was actually like filming it myself. So I put like that filter, which is a Disney filter, on my head. And it didn't make any sense. And I was getting 40,000 views per hour. So I was like, damn, there's definitely something here. I was not monetized though. So I did not make any money from that, unfortunately. So I probably missed out on like $400 AdSense days, which back then was like that would be insane. Like I would go crazy. But yeah, that's when I saw my first success with that. So I was like, okay, if I just start doing all of these filters, because then in that period there were like tons of filters being released. Some of them were fairly popular. I was like, if I start doing all of these filters, I can get a lot of views, make good money. And that's kind of how I got started. And then slowly but surely we can discuss that a bit more. I just started changing the topics and shifting to this and that. And that's how it kind of became this whole like search based strategy thing. But honestly, when I started, it was just like, let me just try and make this video and see what happens.
So what was your strategy at first when you actually were trying to do the research of your competitors and figure out what title is best for SEO? Did you have this whole vidIQ strategy built in at that point, or was it a lot more guesswork?
Not really. It was pretty much like not blind copying, but I think I was not even the first to upload the video about the Disney filter. So someone already had uploaded it. This was also a search based channel. And I saw that and I quickly made the same video. I cannot recall if I made the exact same title or anything like that, but I think I was pretty aware that you had to title the video the exact same way that people search for it so that you become the most relevant result to what people search for so that YouTube shows you in the highest position possible, or at least maximize your chances of doing that. And I'm not sure if my competitor also did that or if he forgot to specifically put it, and that's why I ranked higher. I'm not sure, but I did not have a core process down. When I got started at the end of 2019, I was pretty much doing all of these filter videos. And then maybe throughout that year, definitely throughout that year, when things started to blow up, I started to understand a lot more of how things ranked and how to title something and when to choose a video and stuff like that. But at the beginning, I was just putting stuff out there and see what worked.
Did you enjoy making these filter videos, or were you just like, oh, this is making me money, I gotta do this?
Pretty much, bro. Like, of course, no one wakes up and is like excited to make a video about how to get a Disney filter. And probably when I woke up that day, I did not know I was going to make that video. Probably I did it throughout the day, just out of, like, oh, this stuff is blowing up. Let me quickly get this done. I always just kind of did social media. When I started social media, it was just for fun in 2013. Like, it was not a thing. But then since then, I just really started enjoying the process of figuring out how to crack the code, basically. And so I did not enjoy specifically making that video, but I enjoy the process of trying to figure out how this stuff works and if I could get it viral and that would then make money. It was more so like the big end result that really got me excited and yeah, allowed me to keep going.
Honestly,
But
I
that
think that's
Disney
one of
filter, oh no.
that's fair enough. Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest motivators for me as well, especially because a lot of the affiliate tools that I talk about in my videos are indefinite recurring commission. And we know there's always some percentage of people that are going to forget to cancel. And so what's really appealing to me is like, oh my God, wait, if I position myself just right, it's like a little spider web catching these insects that fly right in and then make me money forever, basically. And I'm not sure, about the FIRE movement. You've heard about this?
Yeah.
So the whole idea of the movement is to be able to retire early by reaching your financial independence number. And that number is basically when the amount of money you have in the stock market can pay you dividends that out earn how much your yearly expenses are, essentially. And so my thing is, okay, well, if you want to do that strategy to get to your financial independence number, you need so much money to be able to get a 3% return every year and for that to be more than your yearly expenses. But if I could make that money through passive affiliate links, like I don't have to have 5 million in my bank in stocks to be able to withdraw 3% to get the amount of monthly revenue I need to cover my monthly expenses. I just need 1,000 people to sign up for one affiliate tool and forget about the subscription. So that's
Hmm.
I feel like kind of the same on there. Like my motivation, I find it really fun to figure out how to get to that number. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what is the revenue splits on the videos? Like I know you make money from YouTube and from affiliate deals. Is there anything else?
Sponsors,
Mm-hmm.
which is included within YouTube, but all my stuff comes from YouTube. So everything is from, okay, I upload a video and somehow that makes money, which is AdSense money, affiliate income, or sponsor deals. Those three is pretty much all I do right now.
Okay, gotcha. And then if you had a rough estimate, do you know how much each of those different things earn you, like percentage wise?
Honestly, it depends month on month. So, for example, this month I have done a little bit more sponsor deals. Last month, I think I've done zero. And so then the money will be a lot less. But if I were to like roughly guess, I think affiliates right now is about 50-60%. Brand deals is then like 30-40, and then AdSense is like 10%, maybe even 5%, depending on the month itself.
Yeah, that's great because you're
So that
still getting a decent amount in just ad. You made over six figures in just ad revenue as well, right?
I've made
Last
over
year.
a million in just last year. Yeah, last year, yes.
Yeah,
In total, like over a million in just ads, probably
that's
even
insane.
1.5 or
Yeah.
something like that. But that is now. I was just gonna add to that. That is now. I think even just 2 short years ago, 100% was AdSense revenue. I was one of these people that was just uploading videos in the rabbit hole, like upload, 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 and just chasing AdSense revenue. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to sign up to all of these affiliate programs and collect all of my promotion links and then keep track of it. But that was a huge mistake because as soon as I started doing that, I started seeing amazing results. So if someone is watching this right now and you're like, no, AdSense money is fine. And yeah, I know everyone tells me to not rely on AdSense, but it's been going well for me. Trust me, it's not the smartest, but also you just can make a lot more with affiliate revenue, with your own products, with brand deals, etc., etc.
Hmm. What is the best tool that you've talked about that has made you the most money?
Oh, the best tool that has made me the most money. I guess just because where if you look at where my money comes from, it's going to be vidIQ because most of my money comes from ranking videos, which I always use vidIQ for. And it's not this product that you must have, but just gives a couple insights that allow me to make a better decision. And so all of these
Hmm.
videos I've uploaded over the years, which is thousands of videos. I think I've uploaded like over 8,000 videos to all the channels I own, which is a ridiculous number. Probably it's going to be vidIQ.
Okay. I also meant, that's interesting. I also meant though, like, what tool did you promote that you made the most
Ah,
affiliate commission off
my
of?
bad.
Yeah. But
The way you said it, I was like,
yeah, sorry.
I thought you mean it that like that. Um, I think also vidIQ to be
But
honest, which is
yeah.
a perfect fit, right?
Yeah. So anyone watching, he has a ton of, this is how I learned about how to rank number one on search. Youri has a ton of videos on the exact strategy to use to rank number one. So that probably won't be in this podcast, but I'll leave that video link in the description. And yeah, vidIQ, I agree, is like not necessary, but it's definitely helpful for ranking number one and doing keyword research.
Yeah,
Is
it takes
that
a couple of little things out of guessing. Like you can verify, double check a couple of things. And I don't use every feature from vidIQ. To be honest, I only use a few. They offer a lot. Most of it is not that great, but a few of the things are actually good, like the trending videos, the historical data, the views per hour. Those things, when it comes to trying to rank for search and understanding if a topic is good, if it's worth making a video, etc., those are crucial in my opinion.
mhm. Yeah, is that why you started? So a lot of people ask me the question, why are you transparent? Why are you not just gatekeeping this for yourself? Is the reason that you didn't gatekeep your videos on YouTube search because you knew you could make money from vidIQ affiliate?
No, because when I started talking about YouTube search, that was like 2, even 3, now already 3 years ago. I was not really promoting it. Like I said, I only started doing affiliate marketing general in April 2023 and vidIQ specifically at the end of 2023. I think in October, and then the first video went live in November. So I was already talking about it before that, just out of kind of what you're doing now with these unfiltered videos on your unfiltered channel, just sharing what you're up to. And that built me like a core little following, which is quite nice, allow me to meet a lot of people and stuff like that. But to answer your question specifically, no, that was not really the core intention.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good to know. There's other people that are just like to share like what they're up to in terms of like how they're making money. So, what was the most amount of money you've made from one video? Do
Oh,
you think? It might be hard to know exactly which people came to which affiliate links from it, but was
yes.
there ever one that you saw like a huge uptick in
So
downloads for a product or?
when it comes to AdSense revenue, I think I've made one video which has done like 35,000, maybe $40,000 by now. And when it comes to affiliates, I think it must be the 1 hour YouTube SEO video that I did promoting vidIQ, which led to the most signups, which led to a bunch of recurring revenue, which means it's the most amount of money. Honestly, how much that is specifically, it's a bit of a guess. I don't really
Yeah,
know, but it could well be like 50, 60, $70,000. I'm really not sure how much
per
of it
month.
equates to that video. Oh, sorry, no, not per month, in total.
Oh, total.
Per
Okay.
month with vidIQ specifically is impossible for me to see in terms of which video does it. I can see like my total monthly revenue, of course, from the commissions, but I cannot. That's it. Their affiliate backend is probably the worst I've been dealing with. But yeah, I cannot give you specific stats simply because I don't know.
Do you know how much have you made? How much? What is your MRR with vidIQ affiliate right now?
Yeah, I can definitely check that. Can I share my screen on here?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Let me
You
try
just
and do
click
that.
present. It should just pop up. I'll just
Present,
add it.
yes. Video file. No, not video file. Can you see it? No, right?
Not
Oh,
yet.
share screen, bro. I'm getting old.
Unk Bros reached Unk status. There we
Let's
go.
go.
Add to
Are you
stage.
able to see it now?
Yeah, I can see now.
So, first of all, I don't know why they've added these horrible arrows
No,
recently.
I saw that. It's so bad, dude. I
I'm-
was like,
I
what?
texted my guy. I'm like, bro, what are you guys doing, man? He's like, oh, that should not be there, I think. But yeah, apart from that, they're quite good to work with. But yeah, this is it current month so far. So it's the 24th of March, and this is what it is. Last month it was 8.5. The month before it was like 9.9. I was like $20 short of five figures. But yeah, these are pretty much the stats. Last 12 months, almost $100,000. Um,
That's fire.
so yeah, this is obviously quite significant. However, I also do have to mention like this is a lot of traffic, like 55,000 clicks. That is quite a lot. And the drop off on this is quite big. So every month, what you guys can see is this month so far, for example, we've got over 300 new paid signups coming in. Last month, it was 370. So you would look at this number, 8.5, right? Which is in February, only 28 days. I'm not sure what the exact math is, but it's close to $300 a day, right? So you would say, okay, you've got 370 new conversions. Surely this month it's going to go a lot higher. But I found that that was not really the case. So once I kind of got to these sort of numbers, it just kind of equals out where these 300 new people that come in this month, they also fall off on the other end of the spectrum. So the lifetime value, the LTV of a customer, at least the customers that I bring in, might only be like 2, 3, 4 months or whatever the number is, which I cannot really see. And so it's quite hard to really scale this up, I found.
Okay. That was going to be one of my questions because one of the things that I'm worried about is churn. So, any viewers watching, that's the percentage of people who enter in the first month and then leave by the end of the first month. So, if I refer, right, the dream is you refer a bunch of people to a program, most of them forget. You keep collecting passive income for the rest of your life and you're just chilling. But it turns out
Nah, bro, I don't
that's not
agree
how
with
it
you.
works.
I don't agree with you. I get what you're saying, and I am one of these people that forgets to cancel and just, you know, I'm not bothered to do it. But what would be better if you're promoting stuff that people actually continue using for
Oh
months, if
yeah.
not years. That's like the end goal, basically. That's like the best thing you could have. What you're saying would work from your end, but a lot of people would cancel, right? So it's not like the best way to go about it or
Yeah,
think
I,
about it.
I actually, I'll admit, sorry, I do agree with you. I was just saying in the terms of you want people who won't cancel more. But I
Yeah,
do agree
yeah.
with you actually. If my other thing on that would be if you're just getting people to sign up for something that is kind of ass, but just praying that they forget to cancel, what do you think is going to happen when you make another video with your face in it talking about another product that they're like, oh, wait, this is the guy that fucking told me to download this shit
Yeah.
that I never actually used and never got value out of. I don't think
Mhm.
even if you can make money off it, I don't think you want to make a recommendation to someone who's that's not going to actually be able to continuously use the app.
No. It's not a great thing to do, and it's also not the best strategy. I think you'll agree that if you promote the best product that is the best solution to the viewer's problem with the best pricing, the best features, etc., that's how everyone wins because you're doing affiliate marketing. If you promote something that doesn't really solve their problem, they'll either just cancel quickly, so your LTV of that customer, aka your commissions, won't be great, or they even
Mhm.
do a refund or something like that. And so it's not really a great strategy to pursue. If you put the customer or your viewer first, and you really put detail into okay, which product would actually work for them, um, should I just and there's a lot of difficult things there because there might be other products that have better affiliate programs or something like that. But I do think if you stick to promoting the best product for the viewer, at the end, in the long term, you'll win a lot more than just promoting the best affiliate program or just kind of shoving something down their throat.
Exactly. I fully agree with that. So, okay, do you want to just quickly also go through some of the other tools, your other biggest tools? I know vidIQ is your biggest, but I'm curious what other tools you
Hmm.
found the most success with.
Yeah, so Pixels right now is quite good, which is the thumbnail generator that I mentioned earlier. Reason for that, in my opinion, is because it's a new product, right? A year ago, you weren't really able to make thumbnails through AI in just one click, two clicks. Right now, it's getting at an insane level where you can make actual good looking thumbnails in just two clicks, even
Mm.
that have your own face on it right now. And so it's a new product that I was able to market to the viewers that solves a problem for them. And so it works out really well. So yeah, that's one of them. And then there's like a lot more random ones. Pictory used to be a good one, but I have kind of stopped making like full videos about it because it's not the best tool. It worked for some people, but it's not really like a AI video maker. It's more so of like a simple editor that allows you to make videos in a simple way. But then their backend and their affiliate program is really good, and so that was able to do quite well. And then there's probably like a ton of little ones that just collect some revenue every month from traffic that used to come in back in the day.
Okay. Is it like Pareto distributed? You know how like they say you don't know about this? So it's like
No idea.
80% of your results of your outputs usually come
Mm,
from 20% of your inputs. So the
yeah.
idea would be 20% of the tools you promote are
Hmm.
responsible for like 80% of your total revenue.
Yeah, that is true. And then also that is true when you look at the videos that you make for it. So like I said,
Mm.
I have that one video, the 1 hour SEO guide, that probably led to most of the results. And then I was like, okay, let me mention this more often. But then all of those videos after that, it probably contributed a little bit, but that probably the 80-20 rule as well, where that video is probably 20% of my input, but got me to 80% of my output. And that is something I should do a lot more. And everyone at home should probably do as well.
Yeah. So I was also going to ask let's see. Oh, so one thing I really love about Repurpose as a platform, and vidIQ definitely lacks this, is you can make like custom trackable links. So you could put a
Hmm.
different one on each video and see how each video's traffic is doing. When you have the option to do that, do you do that? And is that important?
100%. If you can do it, must do it. It's extremely important because that way you can track what videos actually convert well, right? You can probably look at videos, and I also learned this from Simon, Metix Media. He has a very big channel in the e-commerce space. He also does affiliate marketing as his business model, and he's only focused on making the videos that have the highest returns. And so basically, if you look at it, you can probably get 1 million views on videos that are not really optimized or somehow don't really work well. And then you can also have a video quietly sitting there with like 20,000 views, and that 20,000 views video might have made you more money than the ones with 1 million views. But if you didn't track that, you don't really know. And so probably you're going to mirror and model after the things you've done in the videos that got 1 million views, because you just look at it from a logic perspective and like, hey, 1 million views, 20,000 views, let me do more of that, when that is not really the thing that converts really well. But if you track it, you can start analyzing, okay, if I put the intro in this way, I convert 5% higher. If I title my videos this way, or if the search intent is XYZ, I get more conversions or stuff like that. And then you can model after that. So I think it's extremely important. If you're able to do it, must definitely do it.
Have you had an example where something converted really well that you didn't expect and you only realized it through the trackable links?
No, because most programs I use don't have the tracking links
Hmm.
available, which vidIQ is actually one of. And so it's
Where
quite
let's
hard
go
for me
talk to them,
to.
bro. Let's go together and talk to them and be like, what the fuck?
I mean, I talk to them, but they're on a older affiliate portal. That's the
Hmm.
problem. But yeah, I have not seen. I cannot give you like insane results, but lately I've had not like insane results, but I've had one video which has I think like 24,000 views, maybe a little bit more right now, and it made like $2,000 in commissions. And then I've got another one where it was an integration keyword or video, like I explained earlier, which has like 15,000 views. So like not even a little bit less, but it only made like $200 in commissions. So it made 1/10 the amount of money, yet it has like 60-70% of the views. So you can see that the
Hmm.
first video I did converted a lot better, second one a lot worse. So I just need to do more of what I did in the first one. And that could be a lot of things. That's a bit of the tricky thing. With search traffic, I think it's pretty reliable. With browse, it's a bit less reliable because browse might push you into one audience, and then the next time it does, it pushes into a different audience that just happens to convert more or less or whatever. But with search in general, I think it will be like pretty reliable because it's just X amount of people searching for it every single day. And so if the search intent is good, it matches what the viewer needs and what you say in your video, I think it's a reliable way to track whether what you say converts to whatever amount.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I was going to say on this, so first of all, do you ever just like talk about the exact same thing basically and just package it differently just to see how it would do on search?
What do you mean?
So like let's
Like,
say you do one video on vidIQ and you explain how it's useful for ranking number 1 on search.
mm-hmm.
And then do you ever try like another video on vidIQ talking about why it's good for search, but have a different thumbnail and a different title so that you can rank for a different keyword, but it's still like the same content inside of it?
Yes, I was slightly, sort of. I've not done it as much as exactly as you say right now, but I've done it in a way where you basically figure out how to approach a certain tool, how to promote it. You kind of build your core value around it or the way that you believe that product solves the viewer's problem. And then you just kind of look at how can you position this in multiple ways, yet pretty much say the same thing. So deliver the same message in the video and then promote it. So that's what I've been
Okay,
doing
right.
with vidIQ. So like the first video I did was that 1 hour SEO course that converted really well. And so I know, okay, how I've shown this really resonates with people and it converts. So let me sum up how I've done this, kind of make a selling thesis, what I now call it. And then you can take that selling thesis and you can either just make the exact same video with a different title that still is relevant, or you can even do completely different content, but then integrate that selling thesis in that content. So you might have seen me
Hmm.
do on my main channel like a few months ago. It's boring, but it will get you 1,000 subscribers. And that video
Hmm.
got like 300,000, 300,000 views. And it's pretty much an integration of my vidIQ selling thesis. And so I explained to the viewer, getting 1,000 subscribers through browse traffic when you're just starting out is kind of hard. In my opinion, from my experience, doing it through search is a lot easier. And then here's how you do that. So they
Right.
click on the video. Their problem is not having 1,000 subscribers or not knowing how to get 1,000 subscribers. I then open their eyes and make them see that their problem is XYZ. And then I present them the solution, which is this, and this. And so that's how I kind of been repackaging videos in a slightly different way to appeal to a wider or different audience, yet still kind of say the same thing and sell the same product.
That makes so much sense. So, one other thing I need to touch on is like this thing of high intent search queries, like high buyer intent. So, I talked to someone who I was baffled by this, completely baffled. He basically runs the short form accounts for a lot of different like kind of celebrity channels, and he started running for I forget what it's called, Armani Jets or something, a private jet company. Okay, I don't. You might have
Mm-hmm.
even seen these videos. He basically just has them record the calls that they have with clients. So they'll have a client that's all angry. I need a flight from New York to LA today, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever the fuck, because like rich people are gonna be all like mad about getting their private jets, and it's him talking on the phone, and that converted to a ton of. I couldn't believe it because I was like, that call seems like just dumb entertainment, but I guess it got their brand out there, and and they're able to make more sales to people who are looking to book private jet flights.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was able to make a lot of money off of that because he's able to get people who want to buy really expensive stuff through content.
Mm-hmm.
How does that concept apply to making targeting search queries that are have high intent of people purchasing?
I think with search, it's a lot easier. I think what you're describing might have just been like a huge viral video that was pushed to either just everyone or like a certain audience that kind of is in the range of flying private or something like that. But with search, the beautiful thing of that, when that jet company uploaded that video, they kind of have to pray that it hits the right audience. And of course, there might be like strategies that you can follow to make sure you hit the right audience, but you still have to do those strategies right in order to hit that audience. With search, everyone that is searching for something, you can figure out beforehand what their intentions are, right? Or at least make a very, very good what's the word? Expectation? No.
Intent.
Yeah, like you can calculate it basically, right? If someone is searching for Shopify review, you know that they, first of all, they know that Shopify exists. You know that they have some doubts about it. And then you know that if you can clear those doubts, then they're probably going to go ahead and buy Shopify. So then you know that all you need to do in that video is present a realistic expectation, figure out how to change their belief from is Shopify actually good to hey, Shopify is actually good. This is perfect for me. And then they'll convert to buying the product. And you can do that with all the keywords that people search for, where everything someone searches for, you can kind of estimate. That was the word I was looking for. You can kind
Mm,
of estimate what they're trying to get out of it. And so that makes it really cool in comparison to just uploading a short that gets pushed on a feed and you're not really sure who's going to see it or if they have the problem that you're trying to fix.
right. Great point. So what I kind of did to try to apply that is I have a video right now. It's really low views. Like I think it's under 1,000 still, but it's just does repurpose.io kill my reach, which is a big concern a lot of people had. And I
Mm-hmm.
just addressed that question in the video. And that's kind of what I had the same thought process there. I was like, okay, anyone looking this up is like on the purchase page, probably. They're just like, I want to do this, but is this going to mess up? Like, and they just have one doubt that if you can clear that, they're going to
Yeah,
buy. So that's an
yeah,
example, I feel like, of a
that's
video
perfect.
with high intent where it might not get that many views. It definitely won't, actually. But you'll have a good chance of anyone who does click on that actually converting.
Yeah, that's the perfect example. Yeah, that's
Got it.
perfect.
Okay, very interesting. So now I want to get into actually what it takes to do this at a bigger scale now. Because
hmm
presumably when you were making those uh, lens or filter videos, you weren't. I assume you were just editing those and recording those yourself, script writing
Yep.
yourself.
There was no script because it's just a very simple process. So I would just before about whatever I was about to record, I would just actually do it so that I know it works or how to click and stuff like that. To just screen record, I would say, okay, you go to Instagram, you click here, you search up this guy, you click here, you apply the filter, and you're done. So there was no script. It was just recording, and then yes, I would transfer the files from my phone to my laptop on some weird editing software. I would edit that video and then just upload it. So everything done myself.
Okay, and how did you start to scale out?
I started to scale out initially just through my own labor, to be honest. So I was slowly trying or starting to figure out that with that whole search approach where you just upload whatever on just a random channel, which by the way, I don't think is the current meta. I don't think that's the smartest thing to do. But back then, not so many people were doing it. And so when I figured out that you could just do that and not really care about what you upload, but treat each upload individually, I started to ramp up the numbers myself. So recording a video about how to apply a filter might take like 5 minutes. And so I was okay. I can probably do like 5 videos a day or something like that. And then I probably switched in January, February 2020 to doing that amount of videos. And then my graph was starting to look like this. I was like, okay, this stuff is working. Let me do even more. And so in March 2020, so 5 years ago, I started to do 10 uploads on average per day. I was doing 8 videos and then the day after 16 and then 8 and then 16. I don't know why I chose that order, but that's how I was doing it. And so I ended up at about 300 videos uploaded each month. And I just continued to do that for a while. So initially, I scaled up through that. So through my own labor. So I was
Hmm.
putting all of my time and effort into, yeah, into that whole thing, basically. Right. So that's initially how I scaled up. And then in
Did you
the
hit a
summer of
point where you realized like this is not sustainable for me to do all of this myself?
yeah, it just gets extremely boring. In that first year of blowing up on that channel, which is 2020, it was exciting, it was fun because I was going after the results, right? I was not in love with the process of actually like recording and filming, but I was in love with the process of trying to crack the code and, making a lot of money with this method. And that was happening. But as soon as that had kind of happened, right? At some point, you've kind of figured it out and then you just have to continue to do it. That's really when I started to enjoy it less and less. And then I figured out, okay, this is not what I should be doing all the time. Plus, that was also when I kind of started learning about the thing of outsourcing. I didn't consider that because it's YouTube and I've been watching YouTube for years. YouTube is you making videos. That's what it used to be, right? No one talked about outsourcing and faceless channels, and that didn't really exist. There were people doing it, but no one was sharing it. So I didn't really know. And then around that time, people started to talk about it on Instagram, and then I got introduced to that whole thing. And then someone actually bought my first channel, so the channel I started in the beginning of 2019 that I had to work 6 months for to get monetized. I
Hmm.
sold that in the summer of 2020 because I was focused on this search based thing. And the guy I sold it to was like a guru. So he had like a course about YouTube automation, funny enough. So I sold it to him and I included that course in the deal so that I could watch that and learn from it or whatever. The course wasn't fantastic, but I did take away one thing from it, which actually helped me a lot, was that okay, this whole outsourcing thing is just going to Fiverr or Upwork. You make a job post and you just hire someone. Like that's it. I know it sounds simple, and right now it's probably common knowledge. Back then, I had no idea those platforms existed or how easy it was or whatever. So that course showed me, okay, you can just go to Upwork, do a post, and hire someone. And that's when I slowly started shifting from doing all of the work myself to having these other people record. And
Oh,
I think
record. Wow.
everything, everything. Actually, I started outsourcing a little bit of editing to my friend in March 2020. I think when I was doing those 300 per month, I was not also editing them, but I
Mhm.
outsourced the editing to one of my best friends. But that was just a little bit. And then slowly but surely, I started outsourcing a lot more and actually try to turn it into a business rather than just being a creator.
How did you? So you hired basically UGC people to record the video topics. Did you give them like a script and
No,
what to say? So how
no.
did they know
So,
what to record correctly?
bro, this model is so beautiful where the video that you're going to make is just a very simple process. So, like how to delete your Instagram account or how to create a website domain or just these very, very simple things that sometimes people just don't know. Like, for example, deleting your Instagram, right? Sounds easy, but go ahead and try. Instagram has put this away in some dark corner to prevent you from actually deleting your account, right? So you need to go
Yeah.
to like a forum page and then search delete and then click on it and then put your password and but no one knows that. And so people just go to YouTube, search it up and then do it. But because it's so simple, it's just a thing that you need to know. My creators, I would just give them the example video and they would just watch that and then screen record that process themselves. And there's
Okay.
no plagiarism or anything like that because you're just showing how to do a process. There's only one way to delete your Instagram account, which is X, Y, and Z. There's only one
Yeah.
way to do this, this, and this. It's just X, Y, and Z. And so you don't need a script because all you need to be able to do is just describe a process that you're actively doing on your phone, for example, right? Which a lot of people can do. And there's no problems with copyright or anything because the Instagram page is just the Instagram page. It's not
Yeah.
work
It's the
done by
same
a
for
third
everyone.
party
Yeah.
creator or anything like that. And so I had this Trello board where I listed all the topics that they were in as well. And then I would have the title for my reference and also for theirs. And then within that Trello board, I would list a video that already showed how to do what the creator needs to film. And they would just watch it and then just record it themselves.
Replicate
It
it.
was a very simple process.
Did
And
they
I
try
used to
to
do the same
improve
thing.
it or just literally record the same thing even?
Honestly, like, and this is also the thing about that. This depends on the topic, what I'm about to say. With some topics, you can improve it. There's a lot of room for improvement. A
Mhm.
1 hour Shopify course, a lot of room for improvement, right? It can be this good, it can be that good. When it comes to deleting your Instagram account, it can only be this good, right? There's not much that you can improve. And so, no, we did not really try to improve it because it's not necessary. We just try to deliver it quickly, right? That's one of the things that you could do instead of making it a 10-minute video about how to delete your Instagram account. People don't care. They just want to see it. You'd make it 1 minute or 2 minutes, just as concise and clear, straight to the point as possible. But that's about it. So we did not really try to improve it. Also, because it was a volume based operation, right?
Mhm. And was that also were all the yeah, during that time when it was just simple tutorial stuff, I assume that was also Pareto distributed as well. Like you have probably one or two or three videos that like really pop off and then a lot of them are just like eh.
Yeah, 100%. That's in general, I think, with the search based content. Maybe,
Mhm.
well, it depends how you do it, but how we were doing it, just this mass volume thing. In the beginning, a lot of videos did well quite fast. And then it just slowly started to go down because more people started competing for the same keywords, for example.
Right.
But yes, that principle applies here as well, I would say. There's over 8,000 videos that I've uploaded, and potentially, I don't know, like 1,000 might do well, right?
Mhm.
The other 7,000, which is a ridiculous number if you think about it, are just buried somewhere that never ever got views, which is a
Yeah.
lot of videos that don't get views, but you don't really think about it because the other 1,000 are doing quite well.
Got it. So you outsourced the recording there, but you still didn't outsource any of the research at this time. Do you outsource any of the research now?
No, I still do all of the research myself, which I believe is one of my core skills that got me to this point. And I
Mhm.
think is a skill that you could definitely outsource, but not very quickly because most people that have those skills, they're doing it themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or the people that do have those skills and are not interested in working for themselves, they either want to get paid a good amount of money, so you need the budget, or they say they're actually good, but they're not really good. So that position, so choosing topics, is, in my opinion, quite hard to find. I have outsourced it at times, but that person would just bulk import from like a keyword tool, for example, like vidIQ, right? You could type in Instagram, go to related keywords or whatever, download that stuff and just put it in a nice list and send that. But that person does not fully understand what makes a good video and what doesn't. So I would say for about 90% of the time, I have not outsourced it and I've done all of it myself. And currently, for everything that I do, I'm still doing it myself in terms of choosing which videos to be made.
Right, and that's good because that gives you an advantage that other people can't get on top of you. Like, you know about pixels and Shopify and whatever other things, and other people who don't know that, there's no way for them to compete with you on that.
Yeah. I
So
know content very well because I've been making videos since I was like
exactly.
13 years old, right? So I've been doing this for over 10 years. So basically, my head is like one big collection of data, right? I've done Instagram theme pages for a while. That worked out quite well, where I was making edits and then I had to choose the thumbnail. I then started doing YouTube, which comes with titles, thumbnails, etc. So over all these years, I've learned to understand well what might work and what doesn't. That gives me an advantage over, either just hiring someone that starts to do it now, or, you know, I guess there's two ways to look at it. I do believe you can outsource a lot and you probably should, but then there's some things that only you can do that give you that edge over
Edge.
other people
Exactly.
that will give you a lot of results.
Yeah. So I assume at this point now, almost all your videos are edited though. With the editing is outsourced and the scripting is
Yeah.
outsourced. 100. Yeah. Or the scripting is even. I saw a video you did on AI scripting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
something you're using like to make
Yeah,
your
bro.
videos now?
Uh-huh. Yes. That tool is insane. It's called Poppy AI. And I
Yeah.
first of all,
I'll
I was
leave the
very
affiliate link to
skeptical.
it in the description. Yeah.
Whatever, but I was very skeptical purchasing it. If you guys go to the landing page, if you click that link, if it's really there, you'll notice the landing page. It's this weird guy looking into the camera with like a pink tank top, and you're like, what on earth is this? It looks like a classic scam. I'll be honest. I'll be upfront. But then it took me two videos. I watched a video from AI guy. I was like, looks interesting, but something was off. And then I saw a video made by Poppy themselves on their channel, which was like a long form 40-minute video. And that got me convinced. Then I just tested it out. And yeah, I really liked it. And so I continued to use it. Plus, my team members are now using it as well. But yeah, I started to script videos through that, which allows you to do it quickly. Plus, it takes less mental capacity. What I found with scripting, if I need to script a video about a certain tool, whatever, or repurpose IO in your example, I'll sit down and there's like all these features and use cases and all this stuff, and then I just start thinking, okay, do I structure it like this? Do I structure it like that? Creates all this stuff and kind of removes all the clarity. And then when I do it with AI, I just tell it one thing and I will just do it at once. Then I can just analyze it very calmly and just say, okay, now change this to this order, and it will do that. And so I found that I get a lot more clarity and get it done a lot quicker in still a very good way instead of doing it manually. But yes,
Hmm.
that we're doing with AI, and then also, like you said, editing. I have not edited videos in years. I'm also not a good editor. Like, I really suck. I used to crack Sony Vegas when I was like 13, and I just continued to do that until like 21 or whatever, and then I just stopped editing. I can just not. I can cut things together. That's about it. So yeah, all the
Yeah.
editing is outsourced as well.
Dude, I'm in the same zone. When I finally started making some money with social media and I could just pay someone to do that, I was like, oh, thank fuck. Like, oh my God. Because it's so,
It
I'm
takes
not
time as
that good
well.
at it, but yeah, it's
Hmm.
so time consuming. Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I could record a 10 or 20-minute video and then it's like 5 hours editing it if you want it to be like
Hmm.
solid. It's like, what? Like, no, I
It's
don't want to do
insane.
that.
I'm not sure how much time my main channel editor spends on an edit, but it must be like, well, he edits like days, but I don't know how much of that is actually spent on editing, of course. But it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. I guess if you don't understand the craft, you're like, oh yeah, you could just put it together quickly, whatever. But I feel like a lot of people underestimate that, including me.
Yeah, 100%. So, what does your team look like now? And then I also wanted to compare your monthly revenue with your monthly expenses and actually see how profitable is this.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I'm actually in a interesting phase right now where in October last year, so about 5 months in now, I've hired like a full-time, I guess you can call it COO. It's a bit of a corporate term for a very non-corporate company, but if you would compare it and yeah, give it a title, that would be it. So that's someone I have on the team right now, which has been helping a lot, which can get into a little bit. I've got a full-time editor also, which is the editor for my main channel. And then I've got a few more people that are freelance based. So there's like script writers, thumbnail designers, stuff like that. There's a lot of positions. But yeah, that's pretty much it right now. And then it used to be also the video production team for those search based videos. Once they started outsourcing them, that was also a bunch of people recording, a bunch of people editing, a bunch of people doing the thumbnails and a bunch of stuff like that. But right now, it's one full time core team member who's pretty much like a COO who I spend most of my time talking to. Then it's a full time video editor for my main channel who I also just am in contact with directly. And then my COO is kind of talking and managing everyone who's underneath, right?
Mhm. Does that person, what does the pay structure look like for that? Does your COO have equity?
Yes. He doesn't have equity. He has sweat equity, I guess it's called. I'm not sure. Also not sweat equity. He
What
has
is sweat
profit
equity?
sharing.
Okay.
Sweat equity, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, guys, is that you don't actually buy yourself into the company, but you are taking on a consulting role in exchange for equity. So that guy that I'm hiring definitely does not have that. It's just profit sharing. There's another term which I have with my guy, but I forgot. It's very official kind of
Mm.
stuff, which doesn't really apply for my kind of stuff. But yeah, he has profit sharing plus base pay, which I think is very important when you're really trying to work with someone long term and you want him to or her to actually produce good results. I think you have to have some sort of incentives that are in line with the results that you want that person to generate for you, right? Of course, I
Mm.
could give him a base pay, but then I cannot really expect him to go the extra mile every single time, right? When he has profit sharing, he has skin in the game, it's a lot more likely that that person will do that. And so that's something that I chose to do when hiring him. Not directly, by the way, but after a few months of working with the person, that's when I offered that and shifted to base pay plus
Profit
profit share.
share.
Yeah.
Got it. And
Before
then,
that, I did base pay plus bonuses. So I gave it
okay.
different phases. So phase one was XYZ, trying to achieve XYZ. Then whenever that would be reached, I would give him a certain bonus.
Okay. And then how much do you think you're spending in total per month on like editing and the rest of your team?
Right now, I mean, I can check it out myself. I cannot screen record that because it has a lot of information, but
Passwords.
not passwords, just a bunch of stuff that it's not really for the private. But I can mention to you the expenses. For example, last year, December, I had $15,000 in expenses and $45,000 in revenue. Um,
Hmm.
so that was just a few months ago. And then if I go to finances 2025, in January, I had $25,000 in expenses, which also includes business licensing and stuff like that, accounting fees for the whole year. So that was a bit
Hmm.
inflated. Last month, it was $17,685. So it's kind of in that range right now, it
And is
looks
your
like.
revenue consistently beating that by a lot?
It depends what you would say is a lot. As of right now, I'm not that happy with it, but I also know that I'm currently investing in these team members that
That
in a little
will,
bit will start
yeah,
paying off very,
yeah.
very nicely. Because before this, when I was just running the search based stuff and it was just AdSense based, my cost would be very low and my cash flow would be quite good. And so the comparison, like if you look at the expenses in comparison to the revenue, it would be like a huge amount of profit in terms of percentage. And right now that's a lot lower. But I also know that if things go well, it will pay off quite nicely.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Even if you could get to a really high profit margin by just doing it yourself, well, you're never going to get
Hmm.
past a certain number if you do that. Versus if
I,
you
I used to
spend
have
some
like
money now.
100% profit or like 97 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. But versus if you spend some money now, you'll have a lower profit margin for maybe this month or the next couple months
Hmm.
at most. But then once the videos that once you're able to produce way more videos and get more search based videos, your revenue will go up. And then if you want, you could stop paying more editors and your total
Yeah.
revenue will be higher and your total profit will ultimately
Yeah,
be
that's
higher.
one thing. And if you build something correctly, you can step away from it. Well, but
Right.
it will keep running. That's a problem I had last year. Last year I did really, really well. My best year I've had so far. But I could clearly see, okay, the first 4 or 5 months of the year, my stats were going up month by month. And then in the summer, I went on vacations and this and that. And it didn't plummet because I have a few income streams that are quite consistent, right? So it didn't plummet, but it definitely dropped. And then throughout the year, just kind of stayed at that level. And so I just know, okay, if I don't work, I'll make a lot less or it will slowly start to fade down. If I do work, it will continue to go up or at least be more because I had not built any structure. So I did not have core team members that could keep
Mm-hmm.
doing what the business does in order to make money. Whereas right now, I'm getting to a point where I can do that. I spent the last 2 weeks in Mexico, which is a completely different time zone. I barely worked there, but I was able to just check in like 1, 2 hours a day. And everything just kept running because I've got that COO who can just take care of everything. And so
Yeah.
hopefully, what I'm thinking is that in the next few months and next few years, that will be a huge shift in my business personally, where I don't have to be around 24/7 and doing active work and this and that, but I can slowly start shifting to more of a official like COO role, CEO, sorry, where you can just take decisions, lead the company, but not actively be engaged in every single little minor detail, which a year ago and even 2, 3 years ago for sure used to be the case.
Mm-hmm. What inspires your entrepreneurial mindset there? Because I know so many people who I even have one case where I talked to someone and she was making some just a little bit of money on TikTok with these prank call videos. And
Hmm.
this is when I was starting all this faceless content on YouTube. And I came to her and I was like, we have like editors. We can also record some of these videos on your behalf. And we could do this. We could scale out your whole thing and split it. And she's like, and I was like telling her, I was like, well, you should look into maybe someone that you know who could also record these videos on your behalf because you have a good setup for it. And she was like, why would I do that? I could just record it myself. And I was like,
Hmm.
bro, like, this is not an entrepreneur. Like, what made you
it
know that you have to start trying to take yourself out of the process?
I think the case that you just mentioned might not be an entrepreneur or might just have a lot of limiting beliefs, right? There's a lot of people that think they can only do it because of X, Y, and Z, which is just a belief that they're following that doesn't allow them to outsource it or whatever. But for me personally, when I started in 2019, I think in September or somewhere around that period, when I was making like $100 a day by then, I got sick for like 5 days or something, and I was uploading daily. So if I would hit my daily upload, I would generate like X amount of revenue from that upload, kind of allowing me to stay at the $100 mark. And then I stopped uploading for like a week or something like that because I was sick, and my income dropped to like $50 a day. So it pretty much dropped by like 50%, right? Just because I couldn't upload a video. So that's the first time I kind of got introduced to, oh, if I don't work, I don't make money. And like after that, I guess when I really realized it is just when a lot of people started talking about that online or making content about it. And then you slowly start realizing, okay, yeah, that's quite true. And then a big moment of that was last year, like I said, first 4 months of the year, first 4 or 5, my business was doing well. It was going up month by month. And then in the summer, I stopped working as much to sometimes even not working for like 3, 4 weeks because I went on vacations. And then when I would come back, the stats would still be sort of decent. So like April, I might have done like, I believe it was $70,000 revenue. May might have been like 50 something, whatever, I don't know. And then July would still be like 40 when I had not worked at all. So I did zero work, made 40K. So I come back, I'm like, oh, 40K profit, didn't work. Amazing. Let me now start working again. And then I would work for like a week or 2 weeks, go on a vacation again or a trip or whatever, right? And then, oh, again 40K. So you're thinking, oh, it's actually quite nice. But then you don't see that the work you would have done in May or in June would have only seen the effect of it in like December or November, October, whatever. And so I just got the hit like a few months after. And that really made me realize that I cannot continue to run it this way if I want to continue to grow and do uh like bigger, better numbers.
Mm, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of the same for me. Like I really was like I had the same hesitation I think a lot of entrepreneurs have, which is, oh, like I don't like I know I'm the best at this. I want to be the one doing this. But it's like, yeah, you're never going to get past any moment. And it's so much relief too when you get that outsourced, like knowing that some
Hmm.
guy will be doing this podcast for me. Thank you, Daniel. Knowing that, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, whew. Um, Okay, so before we get into, you showing me some of the analytics from your YouTube studio on these search-based accounts, I wanted to go through a couple other ways that you told me how you made money like in your early days. So firstly, tell me about this because all of this seemed to relate to like Instagram theme pages. Tell me about these Instagram theme pages and how you made money in Telegram groups with this.
Yeah. So, like I said, I started making videos myself when I was 13. That was in 2013 as well, conveniently. There was this channel on YouTube, it's called Free Kickers. I think it's still around. And they used to have this top 5 goals of the week series. So I wanted to get into that series for which I had to film myself play football. So that's kind of how I started to make content. And alongside of doing that, slowly but surely, I started to like actually do that every week, make a YouTube channel. That's when I also started an Instagram page for that channel, right? So the channel was called YD Football, Instagram page also called YD Football. It's still around, by the way, on Instagram. And that's how I kind of started a page, made my own content that didn't really go extremely far, didn't really get extremely great numbers. And then I was on vacation in 2016, so I couldn't make the videos. Normally, I would go to the football field, record myself, make a video. I was on vacation, couldn't make a video, but I wanted to keep posting so that the page wouldn't die or the engagement wouldn't fall off or whatever I made up in my mind, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
when I started reposting content. So I took a picture from someone else and then I posted that and I gave credit to the original owner, right? That blew up. So that picture did really well. And I really remember, like, I was sitting on that vacation, patiently waiting for the clock to hit 4 p.m. or whatever the time would be when I would post the next day to upload again. And I think that also did well, or at least some of them were doing well. So in that vacation, every day I was starting to repost content that was outperforming my original content. So whereas originally I would have to cycle to the pitch and film and then edit and do a lot of work, now I would just take a picture, download it, upload it, credit the person that took the picture, and that would outperform the content I was making myself. And
Yeah,
so I was not
spending
really thinking
actual
about it.
time on, yeah.
Exactly. And in those days, like 2016, it was not like, oh, Instagram theme page business. No, I had no idea. I was just randomly doing that. And it worked. And so I slowly continued to do that, which is throughout the years how I built up an Instagram theme page business in the football niche or soccer if you're from the US. And that really blew up. Like I said, I was making the edits, trying to find good thumbnails that go viral, stuff like that. So I grew that page from 0 to 1 million followers. And within that period, I started getting DMs from people that wanted to buy shout outs. I think the first
Mm.
ever shout out I did was like $5 back in 2017 for like the first dollar I made online. So that was not much, but then the page started to grow, grow, grow. And then I got big brands involved. I've got I got people that were like also running an Instagram theme page business that I got in contact with. And coming back to your question about how I made money with Telegram, I had a guy in my DMs. I think this was 2017 who mentioned to me that you could get shout outs from this Telegram group. So I just joined that group, not sure what to expect. And it would be this massive group with maybe hundreds or thousands of people. I cannot remember, but a ton of people in there. And there were messages being spammed every few seconds. And all of these messages were basically ads. So it'd be people that have these pages or people that want to buy stuff from these pages that'd be in that group. And people would just be spamming, okay, Instagram page, YD football, what Instagram shout out in story and this or whatever, price,
Mm,
XYZ. So it'd be like a marketplace. I think that's also what it was actually called. I might have footage from this. I will send it to you. So
mm,
it'd be like a marketplace where people were spamming ads. And initially, I only tried to sell shout outs on my Instagram page because that was what I had, right? And then I started to get into a few more groups through that one group. And in some of them, they were selling Instagram likes or promotions or followers, anything you can imagine they were selling. And then on just a random Tuesday night, I believe it was, I was like, let me copy this message and then change the pricing and then paste it in all of these other groups that I have. And then if I get a sale, I'll just buy it from this other person. Basically, it is drop servicing, right? But now in 2025, we have all these like funny names for every business model. I was just a random kid, like trying to put everything together. I had no clue what I was doing. But I kid you not, I paste that message into that group, and I think literally instantly or within like the first hour, I had people that were messaging me about this. I think I was selling Instagram likes because you had this service, this bot that people built where you could insert your username and it would go like in rounds. So it would have like bot accounts set up that could like people's pictures. And then all you had to do was put your Instagram name in and you would get like this round of bots liking your new post. So people would post and then receive all these likes. And that was what I was selling. But I did not know how that worked. I just copy pasted a message. I changed the pricing and then people would buy it for me. They would pay me. And then I would buy it from the original ad that I copied. And all of a sudden, I was making like $100 a day when I was like 16 at the time in high school by just copying like a simple message. That might be the easiest way that I've ever made money. I probably will. Like that will forever stay the easiest way that I ever made money. But
How
yeah.
much were you able to raise the prices by?
Oh, bro, like honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember. Like I said, it was just like it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna start a business or I don't know. Like I was just sitting. I was like, let me try this. I don't know how or why, but so I don't know. But it was fairly decent. But I really cannot tell you if it was like double or 30% or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's hilarious.
it was quite a lot, I think.
All those examples of like flipping but with digital products or services are hilarious to me because it's like, okay, if you flip a couch on Facebook Marketplace and you find another buyer, okay, fine, like that's you're still flipping. It's like a easy way to make money, but like you still had to go get the couch, probably fix it up a little bit, take a better picture of it, relist it. Like there's still some work, but when it's something like that where it's just a
It
direct
was no work.
instant, like yeah, there's your
I
middlemaning with
think
like literally like all you would have to do is be like, oh, just go to this group chat and you could get it for this price. But no, it's like, oh, they don't know that, so I'm just gonna say this number and yeah.
yeah. I think it got even better because I think what I might have said about the like people building a software, a bot in order to deliver that service might have been like a month later or something. So initially I had the clients that would purchase it from me that I would just then purchase from the original guy. That was all like manual work. So it was like a certain price. But then like a month later or something, I had the clients that were already buying from me, which is when that like software released, which was extremely cheap to do. I think that's when I really had like insane markups where I would just insert their username into that software, which was very cheap, but still price it at the old level that I was doing, which
Yeah,
was making a lot of profit.
that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Okay, and then what about this emoji app that you promoted?
That was also through the Instagram theme page. So I was reposting content in the football niche. And then there was this CPA offer, which I got introduced to by another guy that was doing these Instagram theme pages, who was paying me, I don't know the exact number. I believe it was 40 cents, but don't quote me on that, for every install that I would get. So it'd be like this app, this emoji app of football players doing like celebrations that my audience of football fans would probably like. And so I started using the promotion videos after each normal video. So we just have like a normal post, compilation, whatever. And then after that, I would insert this little advertisement that I would give a call to action to. And that just started to explode like, oh, like back then, like crazy, right? Like I was 16, 17, and I was just getting paid for every install, which is basically, in my opinion, what I thought back then. Oh, unlimited money. If I can get 1,000 signups, I'll make this. If I get 10,000 signups, I'll make this. So that was just another very simple way of making money. It was not as simple because you had to build like a page or like have a page, but
Hmm.
I remember also doing like $100 days with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Is it simple to do that now? Have you just
I
stopped all the Instagram
honestly,
theme
I really
pages,
don't
or?
know. Yeah, I sold it in 2020, right before COVID hit. So like pretty much 5 years ago to this day. Um, since then, never got back in the game because YouTube is great in terms of monetization. Instagram, if you don't sell a product or something, it's a lot less because a lot of people that have Instagram theme pages are from countries like India or Pakistan or whatever, which there's nothing wrong with that. But in their economy, like $100 goes a lot further than in Europe or the US. So if they have 1 million followers and they charge $200 and there's so many of those pages, that would become like the market rate pretty quickly. But then it's extremely undervalued. But then brands also are not going to pay more for my audience that is the same as theirs, but
Yeah,
they're charging two
but
hundred
they can
bucks.
just
So that was sort
accept
of
way
the issue
less
with that.
money. Yeah, gotcha.
Yes. And back then I was not great at monetizing or whatever. Like I said, it was not like, oh, I'm going to run a business. It was more something that kind of just evolved and happened.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look at your YouTube analytics. I'm super curious to see this, and I think we'll end off
Yes,
there.
let's do that. Let's do that. So let me see. So this is something I've never done before. So you can see it, right?
There we go. Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. So I've never shared this, first of all. So everyone that continued to watch this entire episode, you are in on a few people that know this channel. So this is the channel that I've been talking about in this episode, which I started in the beginning of 2020. We can actually pull it up and we might be able to find that Disney video. So if I go
Oh,
to
I think
oldest,
it's just sharing that tab right now, so I can't see the. If you're
uh,
on the channel tab, I can't see. You can set the share screen to share your entire screen.
all right, let me quickly fix that. Yes, there we go. You can see it, right?
Uh, Wait, it went away. You might have to just do it one more time.
Bro, I'm such a boomer. This is when I'm such a boomer.
Actual unk.
I'm clicking entire screen, share.
There we go. Add to stage. There we go. All
All
right, we're
right,
good.
I'll do that part again. So actually go to oldest videos. We might be able to find that Disney video that I talked about. And you can see here, okay, so this video was uploaded 6 years ago. It has 17 million views. This was in the time when I had that Instagram theme page business, when I wanted to expand into YouTube, started making some of these videos myself. Absolutely blew up like crazy, 17 million views, but it was not monetized for most of the time. So it didn't make like an insane amount of money. But then as you can see here, I started doing that search-based content, like I said I did at the end of that year. So December 2019. So that's when I made the first video, which only got like 1,000 views. So might have made like a couple of dollars. But then going back, you can see I just started uploading a bunch of videos. And you can see that I started uploading these stupid Instagram filters. So you can here see like 6 seconds blink game, which is the most random thing that you can imagine, but probably back then it was quite popular, you know? And so that's why I did it. Instagram don't blink game. Again, coming back to a point you made earlier, different packaging, pretty much the same thing. So it's just uploading kind of the same video twice, but this one got 10K, this one got 8K. And then here's where it starts to get interesting. Pokemon filter, like 100,000 views. And then here's the big video that I did, which got like 40,000 views per hour. So if I click on this, you can see it's extremely simple content, right? If it loads up, It's pretty much faceless. You'll see my face because there's a filter that needs to be applied, which is right here, right? It's just me sitting in my living room
Mhm.
putting this weird ass filter. But this has 600,000 views. So I can actually look this up, which back then it was not monetized, by the way. Also get into some other stats in a bit, but this was not monetized. But you can see that is pretty much all within the same day. I guess I can go to first 24 hours and you can see that in the first 10 minutes I got a couple views and then it just started snowballing like crazy where like after 12 hours it had like 40,000 views and then it ended up in the first 24 hours at 166,000 views, which if I go to reach, it had a 20%
Holy
CTR
Jesus.
and oh, it was actually all external, so it's mostly from Google. So 84% external, which I can confirm here is pretty much Google search, right? And it might be like articles and YouTube search, but it was not like usual suggested or browse traffic. So that was like the first massive hit that I was able to see. And then I guess if we go back a little bit, I just continued to do a lot of these filters, trying to chase some virals. And then here I slowly started shifting to more, not long form, to more evergreen content, like how to add music to Instagram story, how to change your profile picture. And then sometimes I try to squeeze in a little viral again, which never really happened again, to be honest. That's when I kind of just started shifting to the evergreen type of content, which is pretty much what continued to happen here. And then here I got into that autopilot mode of uploading like 300 videos a month, where most of them would just have this like format thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I would just continue to do different topics again and again. And that's really when I started to build that. Now, that is fun to see, but let me go into the back end and show you some stats. So, this is the last 90 days, currently 2025. So, you can see I've not uploaded at all in like a year. I guess we haven't discussed the reasons for that in this podcast, which might be a good one for next time or whatever. But you can see it's pretty steady. It's done $11,000 in the last 90 days. And all of that is from content from a while ago. So if I go to see more, you
That's
can see that
awesome. Yeah,
this is the
so it's just
money I made
printing
in the
three
last
grand
90
a
days.
month just from
Yeah.
nothing. Like,
And
yeah.
that's honestly like it's the lowest point it's been in all that time because
Yeah.
I stopped taking this or stopped focusing on this as a main business. But what I just like is that this video in the last 90 days made me $724 and it's from like February 2021, which is like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just have hundreds of these videos. And so if I go to this one,
Yeah, straight line
$12,700
up. That's insane.
and it just keeps going. Like it's not even like that, it's almost peaking like 4 years later, right?
Yeah.
Which is just an insane model to put in like an hour of work in February 2021 and then to still make like, I don't know, $17 on a Monday in March 2025.
Yeah.
It is pretty insane, right? It is pretty insane. Let me pull up lifetime stats on this. So lifetime, it's
Sheesh.
$680,000, which, as I told you, it's pretty much at the lowest point now. But
Yeah.
here it was doing extremely
Wow.
well.
Yeah.
154 million views. Then if I go to content and then reach quickly, you'll see that a huge amount of it is from search traffic, right? Pretty much that one video was 17 million. That one is not. But what? Why? Am I doing this wrong or what?
I'm not sure. I don't know why I wouldn't show the.
Ah, here. YouTube search, 62%. And then external, 20%, which
Yeah.
is pretty much all Google search. And then like 7% is suggested, 6% browse, which is mostly going to be this video right here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are some crazy stats if you look at it that way, where also in the last year, this one did like 65,000 without uploading and still did like, I uploaded a few times, I guess, here still in March and then one in September, but it was more of a test. But yeah, just will just keep making money for quite a while. And that happens over and over again. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see. I guess one more cool thing would be to look at some most popular videos, which are all in, well, not all. These are not in high CPM niches, but a lot of them are. It's saying it's not even accurate, which is quite funny. So this video made $34,000 since the summer of 2020. This one, honestly, this has been an insane one. Like, that's me still recording the videos myself, as you guys can see in this horrible
Oh
setup.
my,
So that's
yeah,
cool
that
to
could
see
be
as well.
improved. Yeah, you could make a video improving your own video and start getting a lot of
100%.
views.
But this still did $34,000 with just AdSense revenue. But what is weird, if you look at this graph, right? There's a lot of views in this period, and then this is all still decent traffic as well. But the earnings, a lot of it came in January 2021. The CPMs in this month were just insane. I think in that month I made like the most amount I've made with this channel in 1 month, which I believe I hit like $20,000, which was just 1 month after starting, which was honestly quite insane. Yeah,
Dang.
20.8K in revenue that month. And then if I go here, you'll see I did 5.2K with 29,000 views, which
What? That's
doesn't make
absurd.
any sense. RPM was 178 for this
What
one.
the
Same
hell?
same topic, 184. And then it's like a bunch of low CPM ones. And then it's like
What?
high ones again. So yeah, it's honestly that was a that was an insane period. This one as well. This one was a bit different. This is how to download Fortnite, which I just spent like an hour downloading it, showing how to do it. You can see it's me right there in the bottom, right
Yeah.
on my laptop, and it made like $13,000, and it's still ranking like 5 months later. This one as well. This one is CPM, high CPM. Sorry, click up, 8K with 150K views, and yeah, basically that whole channel is like a collection of, as you can see here, 3,800 videos that are just still sitting there collecting views from search that in total equated to this amount right here, which is yeah, quite
That's
insane.
incredible. That's
Yeah, man.
insane. That is, bro. Thank you so much for showing that, because I know both me and all of my viewers will be like, that is so cool to actually get like an inside look on how much a search-based channel is making and from where.
Yeah, I've never shown it before. I've not even, or
Really?
like, no, barely mentioned the
Well,
channel. So
I have
yeah.
to say I'm happy that my mission is coming true to branching out to other entrepreneurs on this channel. So
Hmm.
thank you for
I thought I'd
contributing
show
to
it
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Well, Youri, thank you so much for hopping on today. And yeah,
My pleasure.
I'm looking forward to see where you go with this. And we'll have another podcast eventually. I'm sure you'll be doing
Let's
some
do
big
it.
things, and
Well,
I'll
next time
bring you back on.
we'll explain why I stopped uploading on these channels if they made so much money. It's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah. We'll see that. We'll save that for the next one. All right. Peace.